Good morning. Okay, so the videos will be up on Tuesdays and Thursdays from here on in springtime. And to celebrate spring, I wanted to do a spread in my art journal. I haven't done one in a while, so I thought, with the leftover pieces that I had from my Easter cards, I figured I'd make a spring page out of it. I thought I could still use that quite a bit. And then we'll see what we end up with. So this might be a two-part video. So I might do the first part and then Thursday I'll do the final part. I'm not entirely sure. Or I might just do part of it and then you can follow along with me, or you can just do your own thing. Again, it's just for fun. It's nothing really, too complicated. It is just supposed to be, for fun, basically. Anyway, I think maybe I'll do some pretty light yellow. Now that I'm back into yellow again, I find just about any and every excuse to use it, so which is kind of nice. And I'm just going to move this aside, check and make sure we're in frame. Good, excellent. Okay, so I just wanted to lay down a little bit of yellow. It's a really nice buttery yellow. It is from the dollar store. It's called butter yellow. That's probably why. There you go. Yeah, ever since discovering yellow again, it's a color that I go to for this spring. I know it's a very in color for this year too. So I'm just gonna lightly go over. As much as I like this craft journal, this craft paper journal, colors don't really look all that true on it, so it's a bit difficult to play around with, but we will make do. Don't know if I want to decoupage too much because it takes forever to dry. I do have clean brushes this time, so which is kind of nice. I don't know, I thought maybe I do a lot of stuff with, well, obviously with decoupage, but I thought maybe we could add a little bit like this. I don't know. We'll see how that works. I do eventually want to go over it with a little bit of stenciling and things like that. So I just wanted to lay down some of this. It's really pretty. I like I said before, I don't do watercolors very well. So it's kind of nice to be able to use a napkin that has the colors already in it. Oh, there we go. Some of these paints dry out very easily inside the tip, which is annoying. I'm not even going to clean my brush in between because, I'm lazy, but I'm just going to add it a little bit here and there and see if the paint will act a little bit like decoupage. I don't know. We shall see. It will be a little bit wetter, I think, than, regular. I want to put it this way. I do like that, you can just sort of go over it. I didn't use the this part on my cards because it's got the printed like the textured stuff for holding the napkins together, which I didn't necessarily want on my cards. So it's kind of nice to be able to use it for this, and it's very pretty. I don't know, again, how well it'll hold, but, experimentation in the craft room is half the fun, like I always say. But I do really like the colors. So at this point, I'm just gonna dry it off a little bit. I don't know if I want more. I love this peachy orange color too, which is quite pretty. And then with the lavender, yummy. Oh, maybe it'll uncover a little bit with the Mod Podge. Okay. I don't know, I have this one. I usually just buy the cheap little brushes for a lot of these occasions because it's just easier, you know, to use. Oh, this paintbrush is like crusty. It's like hard as anything. It's not very wide. I could use a sponge. Maybe I'll do that instead. These, you know, they're inexpensive, easy to use, and they're not overly... I buy them in bulk. This might end up being more of a spackling job. Okay, maybe not that either. All right, sometimes things just don't work out. Let's see. All right, I think we're just going with a small one. Again, I just want to make sure it stays down. I don't want to decoupage the whole thing. I don't usually worry about my edges too much. One thing I did like about doing this on the cards was that when you went to, because I put the glue down on my watercolor card first, so it was nice and covered with the decoupage, and then I put it on a napkin upside down, and that worked out really well, which made me very happy. So this area is a bit weird, but that's okay. So, not too shabby. I think it's about all I want to put on there for this part anyway. I have quite a bit of this yarn left over. I don't think I want to use it on this, but I thought it looked kind of cute in a jar. Like, you know, how we do with our leftover ribbons. These jars I got at Costco, they had like whatever, some kind of dessert in them, but I kept all the jars, washed them out, and they make great little storage containers. So every now and then when you go to Costco and you find these little like 12 packs or 10 packs of whatever, and you want dessert and some storage for afterwards, that's actually a pretty cool idea. I know it's a little bit weird, but it is one of those things you just don't really think about until later, and it's like, oh yeah, wait, I think that's a great idea. Oh, okay. See what happens? It's kind of gross. Anyway, I'm going to take my rings off because I'm going to get messy now. So I just want to add the green. So my correspondence paid off. I got a couple of letters back, and it's kind of nice because the people I've written, you know, they tell about their gardens and things like that. So one of the ladies that I've written is my husband's aunt, and her tulips are already popping up, she said. And I was like, oh, wait. I haven't seen any flowers, and we had another snowstorm the other day, and it's like, oh, that does not seem fair. So I don't know how well her flowers are faring in this weather. So I'm hoping it's not too bad. But spring, you know, it's unpredictable. You never know what you're going to end up with, so. But that's all right. We'll create our own spring right here. That's what I like about our journaling. You just do whatever you feel like. And some of this might not be dry. That's okay. It'll add a bit of texture. Some of it might pull up. That's okay too. It's like this. I'm just going to take that right off. Obviously, it does not want to be there. That's all right. And eventually, it'll dry. There we go. There. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. We'll just leave it like that. Alrighty. And yeah. One of the downfalls of playing with your fingers. Alright. So, having done that, again, you know, it's hard to sort of keep track of all of it. I'm just going to give it a quick blast. No idea if that actually dried it necessarily, but you know. So I know dragonflies don't come out until the summertime technically, but I like this one. Oops. Let's see. It is the Multicraft Import, but I like the kind of viney greenery on it, so that is what I'm going to use. If I can take it apart. Probably should have done this earlier. Oh my goodness. Alright. I find too with some of these you cannot take them. Okay, I'm not going to even bother with that. Okay. We will work with some tulips because I know this one will actually come off no problem. So, some StazOn ink. Sometimes the best laid plans just don't work. It is what it is. I'm not going to fuss over it. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not quite dry yet. If you find it's a little bit too damp, you can just go over it with a tissue and just see if you can dry some of it off. You can just clean your stamps later on. Do I clean mine? No, not really. I usually don't really bother with it. I don't know. Maybe that's an issue for later to worry about. And then I'm just gonna check and make sure this is more or less dry. Time constraints being what they are. Oh. See what I mean? Okay. Do you know what? It's not a bad thing, because then we can go like that. It's actually not too bad. Oops. When you're in a hurry, things don't work. I just like to layer them on there. It's okay if they don't always turn out the way you expect. It is not that big a deal. So I do have my letters. So I had a productive morning this morning. So I did some baking. I did some cleaning. Not my favorite thing to do, especially when you can be in the studio doing this. But, you know, it had to be done. I try not to do too much on the weekend because everybody's home. We just want to, you know, spend time together and things like that. So it's kind of nice to be able to do nothing on the weekend. And then I will usually try to do things, you know, during the week. But again, not everything pans out the way you plan, so. Oh, there we go. So I did a little bit of thrifting this weekend. I love thrift shopping. It's one of my favorite things. It can get you into trouble though, because you think everything, oh, it's a good price, you know, it's like, oh, that'd be great. But by the time you add it all up, it's like, whoa, hello. So needless to say, my budget is blown. It's like, alrighty then. But that's all right. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of movement here, just to add a little bit of interest. This is, yeah, it's dry enough. Spring. I might just do hello on the other side. I don't know if anybody has seen my postcard videos, or video actually. It's actually really kind of cool. They're retro postcards. So if get the chance, take a look at it. It's really interesting what you can do with multicolored stamps and things like that. It turned out really well. I was very happy with how they turned out. And yeah, you know, with correspondence and everything else, I thought it'd be kind of cool. My page on the other side is so like three-dimensional that it's kind of hard to stamp on here, but we're making do with what we have. Oops. So there we go. Hello, spring. So that is that. I did want to do something like this. Okay, so this is what I usually do. If I can't get it off, what I'll do is I will cut around it because I don't want to end up ripping the piece itself, the stamp. So I'll just do a little rough cut around it. I don't know if I'll be able to take it off or not, but what you can do is you can just use it like this. So what I'll end up doing is I'll put some of this glue runner tape on here, like that, and then this will stick on, and it won't come off when you go to, you know, print your stamp. So I'm gonna, and it comes off easily, and you can trim it neater if you want to. It's okay. You can do it either way you want, but this way I still get to use it. I don't have to fuss with it, and I don't have to worry about it if I'm going to end up breaking it or things like that. See, it still works just the same. You just have to clean it off a little bit and then it'll be fine. That's what I like about this. It's like, oh, it's so pretty. Yeah. Because my other pages are so textured, it's kind of hard to come through. Now I could use it without the stamping block. It'll probably be a little bit easier. I might actually do that. It's not horrible, but so you can just take it off and then just, oops, use it like, you know, lay it over top. There, that's not too bad. Oh, I kind of like the double stamping. That works for me. It's pretty. There we go. All right, so hello spring. What do you think, guys? I don't know. It's definitely a lot brighter than what I've been doing lately, which is kind of nice. So, you know, you can obviously go over top with your alcohol inks, because they will work over top of just about anything. And if you just wanted to add a little bit extra color, you totally can. It's still a little bit damp underneath, so you could wait till it dries, obviously, but I have no patience apparently, so you could use watercolors, I suppose. Use watercolor markers, but I thought this would work a little bit better. I'm not looking for precision. I just want to add a little bit extra dimensional color to it. There. I don't know. Let me see. I think what I'll do in this case I am going to put some sequins on there just because I can. And they don't all have to be one color. I just usually have a mixture on my desk, so I just thought I would add a little bit more fun to the page. Oops. I wouldn't close it until it's completely dry, obviously, but you know, just for the heck of it, a little bit of color. You could do little pearl dots or whatever if you wanted to. Oops. My fingers in it so sticky. A bit of blue. There we go. And if you want, you can add color to your tulips, of course. There's so many varieties of tulips out these days. They're really pretty. It's one thing I miss about Holland is the Tulip Festival. It's one of my favorite things about my childhood. It's a lot of fun. I'm just doing a bit of a rough color. You could go over top of this, of course, with water brush. Let's see. I do have one. Yes, I do. Again, just wait for it to dry a little bit too. But because it's on top of the glue, it'll still spread out nicely. It'll just look really pretty. You can add different colors. You can add some orange to that if you want. But, you do you. Either way, it'll work out just fine. I'm not really overly gentle with how I add my color. I just want it to be, loose and fun and just very spring-like. So that is it. Hello, spring. What do you think, guys? Yeah, I like it. It turned out well. Very quick and easy. And happy spring, everyone. Bye. See you in the next video.